welcome. Today I want to talk to you about disability and school. Specifically my experience with school. School is very different to each individual that goes there. If a child with special needs has two options, they could either go to a main school that is equipped to support someone with disabilities, or they go to a specialised school specifically for people with special needs. And the term special needs is used in these schools. Special needs is a word that is used as an umbrella word to put everyone who has a disability or who might need a bit of help with maths and English in schools. So I went to a mainstream school for all of my schools around the area of where I live, and for the most part they were good schools. Didn't get into trouble or anything like that, didn't really want to get into trouble. I had a TA or a PA, which are personal assistants, student teaching assistants, in every class that I was in. When I was in nursery school and primary school, there was one teacher and one PA for each class, for that class. When I went to secondary school, then I had a PA that I had for the different classes I liked school. I liked the PAs I had, I liked the teacher I had, and I liked some of the classes as well. Some of them were taxing on the brain, but that's because I'm dyslexic and I find reading and writing difficult. As I went through secondary school and as I got a bit older, there was more of a loosely based timetable around different activities that made it easier for me to cope with school. Not that I wasn't coping, it just made it a bit easier for me to transition in from school to the outside world. So I went to college 2 days a week as part of the school curriculum in year 10 and 11, and I had half the school off because going to college was too much with school as well. Working in school and working in college, because I did a college course after school and I applied for one course and swapped over to another. That was more of a easier course, not easier subjects, but easier laid back course than the course I originally started with, more suited to my pace of learning. I went to a agriculture college, which after my first kind of couple of days there, I was into a normal class setting, and then I was moved, or it was suggested to me that I moved, and I agreed to a classroom setting that had more people that went at my pace. There I learnt a lot of things. There I learnt that agriculture and conservation and construction and animal care is probably not the best career move to have for someone with cerebral palsy. But I also learned what Lee taught me on the course as well. I remember being in my primary school and I was walking back from the assembly hall and the head mistress pulled me to one side. I was walking through with my other classmates and I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know and can't remember all the ins and outs of it, but she called me over and asked me why I was walking funny. Like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know if she knew I had cerebral palsy and I had a disability. She must have known. But looking back and thinking back now, it's weird to me that someone would ask that. My disability is so mild. It's on the stretch between able-bodied and disabled, and I've mentioned that to you before. And it's sometimes difficult for people to recognise the help I do need, especially in a school environment. So I left school and I left college and got a job, and a few years later I had been given an opportunity to do an apprenticeship, which meant going back, not going back to school. I did my apprenticeship with an organisation where I studied on my own, either in the office or at home, which depending on circumstances I had to, and studying is very tiring, especially with someone with dyslexia. And I remember doing a piece of work that took me all day to finish. In fact, it didn't. It took me 2 days, 2.5 days to finish, because the piece of work that I was doing was to write a summary of the presentation that I did, and the presentation itself took all day to do. I remember being at school and not really liking it, or not really liking where I was, because this support wasn't what I needed. It got better. I think school tried their best. Their best was near what I needed, but their best was, and college probably geared towards some of the other students. The PAs did all they could with me, and I really liked my PAs and got on with my PAs. And I got on with all of my teachers, most of my teachers. I think I'm going to leave that there, because I think that's the end of that story. If you did find this helpful, then give it a big thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. Press the little bell if you do, and you want to get notified when I do upload. And thank you so much for watching.